She was making a mockery out of it, talking about, oh, I need a mental health day too. She thought she was all that. She thought she was all that just because she's team lead and she has power over us and treating us like little kids, acting like such a fucking mom. If you only came up to me when you needed something from me and then just leave, then I automatically do not fuck with you, and I hate that shit. What's up, cosmonauts? It's your boy Cosmo, and today I have another serious video to talk about. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but 8 months ago, I made a video called I'm Back for Good, and I elaborated on that video on how I was feeling on my mental health, and I was in a really deep, dark place 8 months ago, but I only expressed how I was feeling mentally, but I didn't really give the whole story on why I was feeling that way. But a couple of people that I know in real life knew what I was talking about and how I was feeling. They saw the signs, so I didn't really need to explain much. Or I did rant on social media here and there at that time, so they knew what I was talking about. But I'm in a position right now where I can finally talk about the whole story behind that video. Mentally, I'm comfortable enough to talk about it. So, let's go all the way to the year of 2020. So, it was a little bit before Halloween. My old job at Walmart as an online grocery pickup associate, I was one of their best workers for that team. I was always motivated and put so much pride in my work during that time, but then all of a sudden, too much became too much too fast. Walmart is like a double-edged sword. If you slack, they treat you like dog shit, or if you work hard, they start to expect a lot out of you and they push you to your limits. They do not care about your well-being as an employee and as a person. I've learned that shit the hard way. Before I get into the story, just know that the story is going to be all over the place, especially the way how I'm explaining it. But just because that it's all over the place does not mean that it's not true. I'm not good at expressing my thoughts right off the bat. I normally write them down on my phone or on a pen and paper. When I had my job at Walmart, my mental health was already a mess, but Halloween of 2020, that's when my mental health started to become way worse than it already was. So, your boy took a month and a half, I want to say almost 2 months, almost a 2 month leave of absence from Thanksgiving 2020 to New Year's 2021. I'm not gonna lie, I was not in the mood to be stressed out during the holidays. So I knew for a fact that that was gonna ruin my mental health a lot more. I did tell one of my ex-managers at the time. She understood where I was coming from. She was struggling mental health wise too. I'm not gonna say her name. And then January 2021 came by, New Year's. I was refreshed. I was ready to start all over again. But oh boy, just when I thought things were gonna get better. So one of my old co-workers, who I thought was one of my friends, I am gonna say her name. Yes, I am gonna expose her name because I do not give a fuck. Adela. So Adela, after I came back from my leave of absence, I hear that she was our new team lead after my previous friend who was also team lead. And I thought she was one of my friends. So I even congratulated her on being a team lead. I don't know how the fuck she got team lead, but I'm thinking it has something to do with the buddy system. Adela was close to previous team lead, and whenever previous team lead was ever off from work, Adela would act as the mini manager, telling people what to do, acting like such a mom. And if you guys knew her in real life, she is like a mom in real life. She will treat you like a child. But besides that, another reason she became team lead is because the one before her was also struggling with her mental health, and therefore, and then unfortunately, she left Walmart a little bit before I came back. So I didn't even get to say goodbye to her, unfortunately, but I'm still on good terms with her. I still communicate with her, but there's one thing in common that we both have is that we both like to dye our hair. That's how she and I became friends in the first place. So then a little bit after I came back from my mental health leave of absence for a month and a half, almost 2 months, I congratulate Adela, who I thought was one of my good friends, and she had the nerve to tell me this. Don't worry, Cosmo, I'm still the same person that you're talking to right now, whether I'm team lead or not. Turns out that was a big fat lie. She legit lied to me right in my face. And that's when the shit went down. About a month ago, last year in February, it didn't take too long. It didn't take too long for Adela to change for the worst. Everybody was complaining about how she's so strict, she's so demanding, she treats everybody like a child, she's too much of a mom, and she's changed for the absolute worst. She became a different person, and yada yada yada. I was already thinking about taking another leave of absence a month after coming back from my previous one. I'm not gonna lie. A month later, my mental health was declining yet again. Any mistake that we would make, she would have every fucking right to be such a bitch. And she even claimed, if you guys need anything or if you need any help, I'm always here for you guys. But whenever the time would come, she would never follow through. Actions speak louder than words. So I told her, hey, I don't want to be in OGP anymore. I want to move to claims. She was like, oh, okay, Cosmo. Well, I can do that for you. So she went to talk with the store manager, Laura, but unfortunately, there were no spots available for claims. And if you guys don't know what claims is, it's a position where one person will handle all the damaged and returned items inside the Walmart. Even though that's not what I really wanted to do, I wanted to look for something that was a good high-paying ass job that doesn't involve being a manager or a supervisor. And claims was the one. And you get to be in the back. You don't gotta talk to anybody. That was the reason why I wanted that position. So, unfortunately, my only option was a cart pusher. I know you're probably looking at me, whoa, Cosmo, what the fuck? Cart pusher? Are you sure? Are you fucking serious, boy? You want to be the lowest of the low in retail? Look, in my defense, that was the only spot that was available. I didn't want to be a stalker. I was once a stalker in Walmart. I was one of their good workers, but I was overworked and underappreciated there. So that was my only option left. I didn't want to be a cashier because I don't like talking to the customers. I didn't want to be janitor because they probably don't pay you enough to be cleaning and wiping people's piss and shit off the toilets and the floor underneath the toilets. No, fuck that shit. Adela even told me herself, don't worry, Cosmo. I will get with Laura and we can help you get out of OGP and over to a cart pusher. But no matter how many times I've tried communicating with her, my other ex-manager, Charisma, or Laura, none of them took action. None of them were helpful. Despite me struggling mentally yet again, they did not give a fuck. They were treating me like a number. So they would have me do the work of 2, maybe 3 people. At the time, they would have me do the picking, where you're supposed to fulfill the orders by collecting every single item that's in the customer's order, and then there's this other thing called dispensing, which is when you gather up all the items that the customer needs to have them delivered to them over at curbside. I was always better at picking as opposed to dispensing because I did have some bad experiences with dispensing, either delivering to the wrong customer's car or customers taking their anger out on me just because their order isn't ready or if there's something missing and all that fucking shit. And I am not a people person. If the customer takes their anger out on me or is pissed at me for something that's not my fault, best believe I'm gonna argue back at them. I will admit, I am a sensitive ass person. It ain't my fucking fault if your order is fucked up somehow. Okay, I'm just the one giving your order to you. So they would always have me picking so early in the morning, doing the physical shopping, because that's what I prefer, and they know that I'm better at that than delivering to curbside. Not to toot my own horn, but I was their king of picking at the time. Your boy was always picking at 200 items an hour. We have this little thing where we do keep track of our certain items that we pick per hour. Let's say 100 picks per hour, 150, 250, which is unheard of because I would usually average over 200 picks per hour. Okay, I was their king, and that's why they would always have me picking all fucking day, which I do not mind because you get to be by yourself. You almost don't gotta talk to anybody, and I liked doing that. It was nice to have a score that high at work, but that's what they were expecting a lot out of me. They had me skip my breaks and lunches anytime we were behind on orders, no matter how tired or hungry I was. So let's go to April 2021. April 2021 was when I requested yet another leave of absence. And Adela made a whole big joke out of it. She was making a mockery out of it, talking about, oh, I need a mental health day too. Bitch, yes, we all have mental health days. I hate that we live in a society where mental health is laughed upon at young men. I hate the stigma that we have to live with in society where us men, we are either laughed at, misunderstood, being called a bitch, seen as less of a man just for expressing our emotions and feelings. But when a woman does it, everybody goes out of their fucking way to support her. But when it's us men, everybody makes a big old joke out of it. But yeah, man, Adela, at that time, Adela changed for the worse, and she did not give a fuck about everybody besides herself. She was letting power and money get to her just because she's team lead, and she thought she was all that. She thought she was all that just because she's team lead and she has power over us and treating us like little kids, acting like such a fucking mom. And she knew for a fact that I hated dispensing. There have been times where she even asked me to cover somebody's lunch or break despite me, how much I hate dispensing. And I have snapped at her every time she says that shit to me. Every time I'm asked to stay and dispense, I lose my shit. I would lose my shit, and I have every right to, because we don't just alternate between picking and dispensing. We'd have certain people picking or certain people dispensing. Or sometimes it's usually just the women picking or mostly men dispensing. But me being their top picker, I was always the only male they're picking all day. And there were two other girls who were always kept in their dispensing. But her being team lead, I had no choice but to listen to her, because I was not gonna fucking argue with her and then have her fire me just because I wouldn't do one thing that she asked me to. I only did it out of courtesy, not because I wanted to. It was not my choice. I only did it just to prevent my ass from losing my fucking job. And it was nerve-wracking because it has been such a long-ass fucking time since I physically dispensed. And I am so fucking slow. I was so slow at dispensing because not only is it so much pressure to make sure that you don't mix up the orders, and also everything was all over the place, fucking bins and skateboards all over the floor, and hope to God that you don't slip and fall, break any bones. I hated being in that room. It was always fucking crowded, especially on the weekends with 5 or 6 people trying to look for order number 398 or 561, trying to look for a loaf of bread or a pair of bananas. It was always something. It was always something, and fucking 5-10 cars would show up at once. Customers yelling at you over the phone for something that's not your fault. Yeah, those were the fucking reasons why I hated dispensing. And after all those times of her forcing me to dispense and just making a whole mockery out of my mental health and how much I was struggling mentally, you best believe that's when I started to hold a grudge against her. When I first met Adela, I hated her. I fucking hated her. I knew there was something up with that bitch, but we were only friends because we did have one thing in common. We're both the king and queen of OCD and making sure everything is nice and neat and clean. Now let's roll over to June 2021, the month where I took my 4-month leave of absence. I shit you guys not. 4 fucking months. 4 months, all the way from June to almost October. So, June 7th, 2021 was the last day I was physically working in Walmart. But that's not to say that was my last day at Walmart. That was just the last day I was physically there at Walmart. And it wasn't until late September, early October when I quit, but we'll get into that story. We'll get into that part of the story later. June, I was literally just counting down the days until June 7th when my leave of absence would start. And I didn't talk to a single soul that day. I just wanted to get the hell out of Dodge. Sure, I did say hi here and there to certain people, especially my coworkers, but I wasn't very talkative there because I was just so in my head. So hopefully nobody at my old job took it too personal. I was just in my head during that time. There were times during my breaks and lunches I would sit by a wall where nobody was near and put my head down out of sadness, because I would always come home from work either pissed, wanting to cry my eyes out, crying myself to sleep, and isolating myself out of anger. Sure, everybody there would see me put so much pride in my work and always having my shit together. People seeing that as a good thing, but deep down inside, I was fucking miserable. And like I said, a couple of my coworkers knew something was up, and I didn't have to say anything to them. And as soon as it was 2 p.m. on June 7th, 2021, that was when your boy disappeared from that hellhole. I was never seen again at Walmart. That's where we go into my 4-month leave of absence. A little bit after my leave of absence, I did tell a few people, and as soon as I came home from my last final day at work on that day, I did tell people that I was moving out of OGP and going to as a cart pusher. And about a month into my leave of absence, that's when I knew how underappreciated I was over there. Very few people checked up on me, making sure I was okay, despite me having almost everybody's phone number or having them added on Snapchat. Maybe 4 or 5 people out of 20 or 30 over there. That made me realize that the majority they'd only come up to me when they need something from me, and that is a fucking pet peeve of mine. If you only came up to me when you needed something from me and then just leave, then I automatically do not fuck with you, and I hate that shit. So you know who you fucking are. And as much as I hated to leave Walmart and not see only the 10-20% of the people that I fucked with at my old job, as much as I hated leaving them and not seeing them at work every day, I only did it because I knew it was best for me. It's like, why do I keep continuing to kiss ass for a company or some people who don't give 2 shits about me or my well-being? Despite me putting my pride and effort into my work and my mental health, why? Why am I continuing to do that shit? For my paycheck? None of that shit is worth a fucking 2 bi-weekly paychecks every month. And I'm gonna be very brutally honest with y'all. So if you only came up to me when you needed something, and you're now watching this video and knowing about all this, and then you have the nerve to hit me up on Snapchat or social media talking about, oh, Cosmo, Hope you're doing okay. I did not know about this. I was wondering if we can be cool right now. No, fuck that shit. You already had your chance to try and be cool with me, and then now after hearing the story, you all of a sudden change. If a few handful of people knew how I was feeling without saying anything, then there's no reason you shouldn't have. And to everybody who did check up on me last year in June, and I do appreciate you more than you can ever imagine. So, a month into my leave of absence, I thought about quitting Walmart and trying to look for ways how I can work from home and be self-employed. So, July, I picked up one gig that are online surveys. Basically, market research online surveys are these things where you get to share your opinion and get compensated for products and services that you use on a daily basis, or sometimes you'll be asked to give your opinions on certain items or products or services that are about to hit in stores, and you're actually helping out these businesses who are releasing these products because they can get a certain demographic of people who want to purchase these said items and services. And so these businesses pay you to give your honest opinions about these said products and what changes they can make before they hit in the stores. And I can do all of that either on my computer at home or on my phone. I have many different accounts doing that shit, such as Survey Junkie, QMe, Swagbuck. But here's the thing: that kind of work is way too easy, and it doesn't pay a whole lot. So if it was up to me, I would have done that shit for 8, 9 hours a day, every single day, which is nice. It does add up by the end of the month, but I can only go so far doing that shit. It's only meant to be some type of supplemental income or side hustle. Sure, yeah, it was enough. Sure, with the amount of time and effort I was putting into online surveys, I was making just enough to cover my share of the bills at home. I do split the bills with my parents, and to cover my own health insurances, health, dental, and vision. Speaking of health insurance, as soon as I quit Walmart, I had to immediately cancel my employer-based health, dental, and vision insurances, and then I had to buy those insurances out of pocket. And that shit was expensive and in itself. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Your shit is expensive as fuck. I didn't go for Cobra because if I did, I would have been paying twice the amount that I was paying for Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. I'm not going to say how much. Move on into August. Online surveys were nice, but I can only get so far with insurance and bills with almost nothing left over. That's where Uber Eats came into the picture. Little did I know that you can deliver Uber Eats on a bicycle. I did not know that. So as soon as I found out about that shit, I had to do some massive research on what I can do to deliver food on a bicycle, which is good because back then I used to always ride my bike to and from work, so it's fine. I do like the exercise. It's fine. At home, I do live near a handful of restaurants, so that should work in my favor. But it wasn't until late August when I physically started because I wanted to make sure that I was mentally prepared to deliver food on a bicycle, just carrying that big bag that you guys see in the background on my back for 3-4 hours a day. So after the entire month of September of grinding, delivering food, and doing surveys online at home, that's when I 100% committed to quitting Walmart full time. So September 30th, 2021, that was the day that I was supposed to go back from my leave of absence after starting my first day as a cart pusher. And let me tell you, it took me a shit ton of balls. It took a massive amount of balls just to quit on the spot after being gone for almost 4 months. It was not fucking easy. I had to break it down to Laura, and when I tell you she was not happy, she was not amused when I came back after disappearing for 4 months like that, she was not fucking happy. That being said, the first thing she asked me was, she had the fucking nerve to ask me, could you explain to me why you took another COVID leave of absence after I approved your other one that was not part of the deal? And blah 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 blah. Human resources lady Elena asked me the same shit. We were in her personnel office. It was her, Laura, and myself. The door was closed, and they both let me have it. And I wasn't gonna sugarcoat anything with Laura and Elena. I had to be straight up. I told them everything, how I felt, how I was underappreciated at Walmart, I was overworked, and I even snitched on Adela. Oh yeah, you best believe I snitched on Adela over to them. And then one of my coworkers told me, I'm not gonna say her name, but she told me that Adela has been stepped down to an early morning stalker. Ain't that about a fucking bitch? So it goes to show that karma does come around in a full circle and comes for that ass immediately. She had it coming. When she told me that, I literally laughed my ass off, clapping like a fucking seal from SeaWorld, just dying of historical laughter. Because serves her right. She got exactly what she deserved, and karma did the fucking job. Karma did the deed. So after telling off Elena and Laura and possibly Adela snitching on her, I handed them my vest and my badge. And I told them, I quit. I quit. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be car pusher anymore. You're gonna have to look for somebody else and blah 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 blah. Y'all had the help that you needed, and then you're just gonna throw it away. You're just gonna throw it away like a piece of trash. Now that your eyes are wide open, you wonder why I disappeared for 4 months and then quit on the spot. So no, I'm not sorry. I have no shame. By the way, after I started my leave of absence in June, I did in fact block Adela from everything. I blocked her phone number, I blocked her on Instagram, Snapchat, everything. And then what seemed funny to me was she had the audacity to add me on fucking TikTok. I don't know how the fuck she found me on TikTok. I'm thinking it was somebody from work that exposed my TikTok over to her. I mean, I didn't even tell her that I had a TikTok. I didn't tell anybody that I had TikTok. I was expecting her to DM me asking, why did I disappear like that? Is everything okay? And hey, I gotta talk to you. No, I didn't get a single DM from her. So what the fuck, man? What was the point of you adding me in the first place if you weren't gonna talk? I don't know. I just thought that was fucking sketchy as fuck. And then I blocked her there too. Now she has no way of contacting me in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that is the fucking story of why my mental health was at rock bottom, guys. But there's also some other reasons why I was gone on and off during 2022. I had a lot of shit going on in 2022. I had so many adult shit that I didn't want to get into. I didn't want to have to deal with, such as me trying to get my birth certificate. I don't know how I lost that shit. I needed my birth certificate to get my passport because I'm about to be going to Cancun with my parents, my brother, and his girlfriend for my dad's cousin's weddings, and we all needed our fucking passports. We were gonna go later before November, but we all decided to wait at the last minute, and that was a fucking headache to deal with in itself. And not only that, but I had to cancel my Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance because it was slowly getting fucking expensive, and your boy's monthly income was so low that I had to apply for Medicaid, and that shit was not easy. Me trying to verify to them my self-employment income was not fucking easy. I had to dig into my bank accounts and my PayPal just to prove my income that I do qualify for Medicaid. And then a month later, I started in Thanksgiving, and it wasn't until fucking Christmas when I found out I qualified for Medicaid. So thank the fuck gosh for Medicaid. I don't know what I would do without them. I would be drowning in medical debt. So now your boy pays literally nothing for health insurance. Nothing. The government pays my health insurance. Next up, my 401k check came in the fucking mail. I thought about cashing that shit in, but little did I know that you have to pay taxes on that shit if you're gonna cash out your 401k plan. And I didn't want to have to deal with that shit, because I still had to worry about self-employment taxes, but we'll get into that after the 401k situation. My 401k check didn't come until December. I quit in late September, so it took y'all over 2 months? 2 months just to send in my 401k check. That's how you know them at Walmart, they fucking hate me now. That's how you know they hate my guts after disappearing like that and then quitting. So then I had to open up a traditional IRA account, which is an individual retirement account. If you're a small business owner, or if you're self-employed. I had to figure out how I was gonna deposit that shit into my IRA account just to avoid taxes, at least before February. Thank God that I did. The Chase that's near my house in Lower Buckeye, for some reason, they don't take appointments or meetings. I just only go there for the ATM, so I had to go to the other one in 99th to make a fucking appointment. Thankfully, I was able to deposit that shit into my IRA account and avoid early penalty taxes. Thank the fuck God. And last but not least, taxes. Luckily, they mailed in my W-2 taxes. I was getting worried about that shit. I didn't know how to log in to download a copy of my digital of W-2 taxes, and I didn't know my credentials at the time. That's how long it's been since I left Walmart. I don't even know my login credentials, but for some reason I still remember my WIN number. I still remember my WIN number. Yeah, they sent me a paper copy. I don't know what I would have done if they didn't. And last but not least, self-employment taxes. That's what's been stressing me. Because when you're self-employed, just know that you are responsible for your own taxes, guys, okay? As much as I like being self-employed or a freelancer, just know that it's your responsibility to manage your own finances and taxes. Nobody's gonna do that shit for you. Because Uncle Ben from Spider-Man said it best. With great power and freedom comes great responsibilities, and I can't stress that enough. So in order for me to reduce my tax liability, I had to dig into my bank account, trying to find as many expenses as I possibly could and write them off as business expenses to reduce my tax liability in 2021. And thank the Lord you can list off your own health insurance as a business expense if you're self-employed. I don't want to tell you guys how much I had to pay every month. I don't want to tell you guys how much I was paying for the monthly premium of my Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance plan. So those monthly premiums right there saved my ass for overpaying in self-employment taxes. I ended up owing far less than I thought I would. Now that all that shit is out of the way, I can finally relax. Yeah, guys, that is the reason why my mind's been all over the place mental health wise from late 2020 to early 2022. I just want to say thank you to everybody who stuck by me for that time period and just dealing with me in general despite me having mental breakdowns. If you do, then I love you forever. You made it this far into the video. I've been recording for an hour now, and I don't know if this is going to be a 30-minute, 40-minute long video, but if you watch this far into the video, just comment the words mental health if you have made it this far into the video so that I would know. But anyways, guys, now I got no more fucking excuses, but I can't say that life is back to normal, at least for me. I don't want to jinx myself. Just know that I am in a much better place. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Please like, subscribe, and peace.